You got, he's got great dancing skills, man. And they just showed me a bit of a tease. He's a what?
He's a Devgan.
Sorry, I missed that. With all due respect, Ajay sir. Guys, 17th of January, it's in theatres and I'm really excited. From me, Hrishi K, everybody who's watching, listening, it's the return of Abhishek Kapoor and Amit Trivedi together in a film, and it's Aman and Rasha's debut. How are you guys? Great to see you, man. So, Abhishek, I mean, welcome back to the movies. We missed you for a long, long time. What do you do in between projects, man? I'm just curious to know. Do you just go sack at a beach? Are you continuously thinking of your next script? Or do you reach a point when you say, no, I need some time away, and you take up some other assignment? How does it work between projects? I know that he has no time between projects, but with you.
Yeah, I think that it's very painful that I'm not on a film set, actually.
I can imagine.
But you know what happens is that when I'm making a movie, I am so consumed by it that I do have various ideas, but I'm not able to develop it in a deep diving kind of manner. Because it's like, it's like like, how do I say it, like a pregnancy, you're pregnant with one child. You can't get pregnant with another child at the same time. So I feel that film maybe it's not out. I'm not ready for another.
Nobody could have described it more eloquently than you.
So, but that does happen. The moment that movie is out, I'm just like flooded with ideas and what I want to do next. And because I have various other ideas that I want to develop, but they're all at a very flirtatious kind of level. And I have 2 kids, so I spend a lot of time with them. And a lot of frustration also when you just sit around and, when you see all your colleagues and all your peers are all busy on film sets, it's like very isolating.
No matter, but I love that. I love what he says, that I have 2 kids, I spend time with them. Kids are relentless, bro. Yeah. I've got 2, he's got 1, we'll tell you. That when they grow up, they're not going to think, what did dad do? He was working his backside off for us, this, that. They just want to know whether you were there or not. And yours will grow up with you being there a lot, which is fantastic. At least in between projects, you're spending time with them. Oh, yeah. That's lovely. That's lovely.
On projects also.
Oh, how cool. Yeah, because Pragya's also produced this one. Yeah.
So, it's such an experience for kids. They don't really appreciate it. But I'm sure when they grow up and they look back, to be on a film set and to see all these horses and to see beautiful young actors and to think that everybody else in the world does the same job, I think. That's what they probably think. कि सभी दुनिया में सभी फिल्में ही बनाते होंगे,
So cool, yeah. So, rock bands have this thing of the hang. Like if you ask great rock bands how they create music, they just say, we hang out, we just spend time with each other. Sometimes you just talk crap and something comes out. Okay. And this is your band of boys, which is Amitabh Bhattacharya, Swanand, you. So, did this music also come out through the hang? Just hanging around with each other, soaking it in.
Like earlier, when we were free at that time, we used to hang a lot.
Now you have come with a purpose.
Yeah, everybody is busy, so everybody is isolated and working in their own space. Hardly we get time to hang. But we do spend time in the studio whenever we are ready with something. I'm ready with a tune and he's ready with the lyrics. So we kind of don't jam much actually.
So the long drunken nights and all is not
all that used to happen earlier. That we used to have, everybody was free now. Swanand, Amitabh is the busiest guy today. He's doing the biggest of the films. He's the most touchwood, doing amazing. So we hardly get time to hang and stuff. But still we have this connection, this Bluetooth connection is there between us. Between us, that I just send him the tune, he reacts, and then magic happens somehow.
And I noticed that the title track, which is Azaad, has a main version and a reprise version, isn't it? So was it Abhishek's idea to do the reprise, or you decided to take a call saying let's do something different on the other track?
It was in the film. Abhishek's idea only. It was there was a slow version. Slow version is sung by Arijit, and there's a faster version which was supposed to be in the climax. Yeah. But right now it's there in the climax.
The film is about a horse, and this is a love story between man and animal. So Azaad as a song is, uh, uh, pronouncing that. But when you have a horse, you just gotta have something to kind of talk about speed and the adrenaline. So the reprise version is more like an adrenaline charged version of the love song.
Wow. So, Aman, I had the good fortune to be invited by this Bawa jockey. Pacey Shroff is his name. Great man. I think he won the Indian Derby some 30 times or something like that. Legendary. And of course, he's now like any regular Bawa with a paunch as big as mine. so he called me over to the Mahalakshmi race course. We had a couple of drinks and food and this and that. And he was just showing me around the horses, man. I mean, and he was reacting so beautifully to them and they were reacting so beautifully to him. I mean, that's a guy who spent 40 years around horses. Were you able to get a bit of that in the limited couple of years that you got to spend time with horses? Do you feel that?
I had to, because I mean, say it however you want. When you're performing a scene with a horse, it's not a human being. It's not gonna give you lines. It's not gonna react to you. So I had to actually improvise a lot of the scenes that we did, because mid-take he would just try to like bite my hand. And then I couldn't let go of that energy. I also had a lot of energy exchange exercises with him, with our acting coach. I used to sleep with him, not to sound crass, but I used to clean his shit. I used to feed him. But that's the only way you can connect to an animal, by showing him that you're there for him.
Nice.
So you did feel moments where you felt the horse was whispering something to you.
Yeah, definitely. When you're in a scene, when you're
That's
in
what
that
Pacey
scene,
told me. He said, sometimes I feel the bugger's whispering something to me.
100%. And when you're connected to the horse, even if it's not talking, but with its movements, with its eye contact, like you can never approach a horse with your hand up, because they get really scared. You have to always pet them like this, because if you go up, they think you're being aggressive. So it's just the little things that you start realizing.
The styling for a period piece is a little intricate. You can't just style yourself as Rasha and get there. And obviously, Abhishek would have had some very defined ideas on how to style you through this period piece. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about the team that you were working with. And how exciting it was for you for the first time to get into that aspect.
I think around when we were shooting, I think one of the seasons of Bridgerton had just come out. And I remember thinking, oh my God, imagine being able to wear those clothes and, the feel. And
The hat.
yeah, so I remember when the shot that's in the teaser, where I got out of the carriage, I felt like a character from Bridgerton. I felt the same feelings that they did. And I think costumes are so important to actually understand your character and their thoughts and ideas. I think Gattu's also paid so much attention to each costume and every little detail of the hair, the makeup, everything, because I think that molds your character also. And I think, of course, he knows that, and of course, he has somehow just molded the character according to each costume. And I love my ethnic outfits. Even in a usual, like a normal day, I love wearing my salwar kameezes and going out. So the fact that I could wear those, those nice ghagras and my dupattas, I felt like I was a little princess, I felt like twirling around in them. And when I was getting out of the van, I felt like, okay, I'm on a set now. I'm my character, and this is Janki. This is not Rasha anymore. So, yeah.
Contrary to me, because I'm playing a stable boy, so I have like 5 clothes. No.
Yeah, Janki had a big wardrobe. I'd love to have a wardrobe, actually.
Yeah, but then if you have just 5 clothes, then you have to up your acting game, because people are not going to look at those clothes. So that was a big challenge, man. That's amazing. So how do you film this, Abhishek? Do you get multiple black horses, or do you just get that one steed who films for you, man?
Good question. I have a few. Also, when you make a movie about a horse, you don't want to just kind of take any horse. So I eventually ended up buying 11 horses. So I have 11 horses, and out of them, a few are playing Azaad. They all been trained for different skills and jobs, different aspects of the character of the horse that each one is trained for.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, and in fact, I didn't know because we've not made a movie like this in this country, so there was nowhere to learn from, or there was no predetermined way. So I had to forge a way as to how do I approach this. Do I do a horse in CG? Do I get a foreign horse trained internationally? And then, at some point I had to take a step So I sent the team out, like just go find me the most beautiful black horse in the country. And then I remember it was a February morning, and I got a call that there's one in Punjab. It was a Marwadi horse. And I remember going there early morning on this farm, and a farmer had one. And the son, beautiful, stunning horse, tall, black guy. And, love at first sight. And so that's how it started. But then as I went along, I got these trainers from England and all over the world. Various people came in, some to train the horse, some to train the actors to perform with the horse and to ride the horses. So there was a completely different vertical setup, like a horse department. And there's another department that does the movie making. So it's a very complicated process. It's not easy. Two things. You're working with newcomers. It's got its own challenges because you've got to be really sensitive towards them. And you can't expect them to be pros. But at the same time, when you've got an animal and that also a horse, it's not like a little puppy or a dog. It's a strong, powerful animal, and who has a character to play. So he's got to be in the mood. And then the whole set has to learn their own discipline. The disciplines on sets have to change to work for the animal, So it's just a totally different set of rules, regulations that we have to work under.
Is this your first film in the country?
I mean, we've made movies with animals. Like there's a movie called Teri Meherbaniya that
I was just about to say that with the Moti the dog with Jackie Shroff. Teri Meherbaniya. And really, we were having this conversation at dinner last night because we're a cat family. I mean, apart from the kids, there's cats at home. And we were just talking about how in India we're not making films on animals anymore. And we used to do that.
Not really. We did one called Hathi Mere Sathi. We did. Which was great. I remember that. It was a great song in it as well. Chal, 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 mere hathi.
That is him.
Yeah. Spirit. It was written by Salim Javed.
Yeah, so Hollywood does that a lot.
Spirit was...
Yeah, Spirit, Simran, that was Babe.
Those are animation.
Those are animations. Yeah, but even regular animal ones. Yeah, I mean, there are...
Black Stallion.
Black Stallion.
And so they made films like that.
So fantastic that you would get into that genre. Are you going to keep them? And if so, you're going to, even after the film is over, for a long time, you're just going to have them?
As long as I can.
Wow. So, like, I know Ali Abbas Zafar keeps them in his stables in Dehradun. Where do you keep them?
At a farmhouse in Udaipur.
Wow. Good on you, man. That is passion. Yeah. And you go visit them often, obviously. You have to now.
No, I haven't had the chance in a while now.
Yeah.
But I think they'll come and visit us soon, a couple of days.
Good, yeah.
Bring them for promotion.
Yeah.
Horsing around in promotions, yeah. Let's talk about Birangay. I mean, I love the way you guys are dancing. I mean, it's just
amazing.
He's got great dancing skills, man. And they just showed me a bit of a tease. He's a what?
He's a Devgan.
Sorry, I missed that. With all due respect, Ajay sir. But yeah, surprisingly for a Devgan, you're quite elastic. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, it can't all be Bosco. You have to have some rhythm in your...
And it's all Bosco, sir. Like, obviously, I've done like a lot of gymnastics and that flexibility exists. But when you've got someone like, even if it's not just the song, even if it's the performance, when you've got masters like them guiding you, what else can you ask?
And I just saw a bit of a teaser of the Uima song. You have turned up the factor on that one, man. You've just gone for it.
Yeah.
And that also takes a lot of getting rid of your inhibitions the first time around, isn't it? I mean, it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah. No, it was very much out of my comfort zone. Actually, I remember when we saw the choreography for the first time, I called Gattu sir and I was like, "Sir, are you sure?" I was like, "She was going to think." He was like, "Just kill it."
And she has.
I was like, "Okay, fine." So I messaged him in the morning. I was like, "Sir, you're right. Okay, let's do it." And then we did it. So now let's...
But obviously, she's got some great dancing chops. She's been training since she was a child. And I didn't know that. But she's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Hoping.
All praise.
He loves me.
Abhishek Kapoor.
So many newcomers. And I've kind of gotten sensitive to their energies, Like when you're working with an animal, you've got to be sensitive to their energies. There's something really special about both of them. They don't... they've not kind of had that nervous energy and trying to worry too much about what the future holds and whether they'll become stars or not. They've actually lived in the moment. They've been in character, and they've done the best they can do. And they've actually, it's what I felt, is that they've really enjoying the job itself. And that is actually the most important way to be. And if you do that, I think everybody else will also sense it. Because that camera throws you on such a massive celluloid, that you can see everything. Nothing escapes you. If you don't see it, the audiences can feel it. They feel your personality, they feel your vibe, they feel your energy, and they know exactly what you are. You can't hide anything. And I think they've got something very special to share.
And that holds true for all three of you, is that when you're from families that have been in films and the dinner conversations, the lunch conversations are movies, and success and failure, you're a little better prepared at handling failure and success, as opposed to somebody who's just come cold out of the blue. Because a person who's come cold out of the blue can easily get starstruck eyes. I feel that way, Katu. You can disagree with me. I mean, it's a going into another conversation, but I'm just saying that I find that you guys have more mature head on your shoulders, because you have been trained from your childhood, being taught don't get too attached to success or failure.
Every home has its own value system, whether they are filmy or non-filmy. Different value systems, different upbringing, and there are no two film families are the same. You can generalize them and put them in one box as opposed to non-film people. But every home brings up the children differently, as any family does. So you cannot generalize that.
No, but conversations are conversations. Like, I mean, you know me, I'm a dinosaur. I've been working in radio for so long. Dinner conversations veer towards radio and what's happening in the media.
Not every film family thinks exactly the same way about the profession. Some families talk only about box office. Some people talk about the craft.
Yeah.
So there are different homes that talk about different things, and value systems are different. Yeah, there could be familiarity and pick up the phone and I know 10 people, but they all are very different people.
Talk about the song. Talk about Birangay.
Birangay, well, the whole soundtrack, in fact, the soundtrack is period, since the film is period. Birangay is a very desi song with very desi instrumentation, because but still try to do hybrid. Overall, EMI is also very hybrid still today, because consumption is happening in 2025.
Correct.
But I have to create something which is 1920, I guess, even 30. So, but has to be consumed today as well. But I did Kala and Zubli that way. It was very old, but this one I thought I can do hybrid. I can
Kala is so
modern.
beautiful, man. Oh my God.
So little modern I went, so to hear the soundtrack. So Birangay is also a holy song on holy.
Holy songs are actually the most difficult to crack, because there's so many more. But this album has a couple of more songs that are actually, my favorite ones are still to come. There's a song called Ajeebo Gareeb that is...
Oh, I was only given details for 3 songs.
Beauty of a song. What is it? Beautiful. It's called Ajeebo Gareeb. And it's written by the great Amitabh Bhattacharya, who has, I'll tell you something about music, because I've worked with Amit and Amitabh my second or third time with them. And with Amitabh at least. It is, of all the meetings I have with creative people, when I'm in the room with the music creators, it's the most humbling. You feel like you're in a temple. You just feel so respectful, because I can brief them, and if my brief is even 1 millimeter off, the result can be totally different. Like when we did Namo Namo, I gave them a particular brief, it went in one direction. Then we regrouped, and I just tweaked that brief slightly, and it landed up in a totally different direction. So they are very powerfully charged, extremely gifted people. I won't even call it talent, it's just gift. Not anyone can write lyrics and compose music. I don't know how they do it. I can understand how people act, I know how people light a scene, how people write, and all of those things. But music, I feel like I'm in a temple, because temples are like portals, where some divine energy lands up over there and you are there at to receive it. So you are at that spot. It truly feels like that. When I'm in their company, I feel very blessed. And also, music composers, lyric writers are the most humblest. There is a very ethereal energy in their place of creation.
And to add to that, what he just said, what sir said, like me and Amitabh especially, we are very filmmakers composers and writers, very filmmakers, but we absorb a lot. It seems whatever like brief he is given, or whatever story it is, or the characters, we live that. We kind of go deep into that. And what had happened, I still remember he's talking about the portal. I also believe in that because once he had come to the studio the first time during Kai Poche, he had briefed me about Kai Poche, about the three friends, and I went home. That's why it came so fast, because I went home, I slept, and Manja came to my dreams at 3 in the morning.
Wow.
The tune came into my dreams. And now I don't know what science is behind that, how does it work. If it's a science behind it, it's a portal, it's a divine energy. But maybe I got something very strong from him, some energy strong from him. I went to sleep, and in my sleep I found myself waking up and recording that tune, and next day going to the studio and giving it a shape, and then Swanand sir writing on it and presenting it to him, and then that's it happened.
And what a song Manja is.
So you all are blessed. You all are so blessed.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, my last question is the only cliched question in the interview. Got to do something cliched. The best advice that Ravina's given you and the best advice that Ajay has given you.
I think he's advised me more with his actions rather than words.
I saw you, the two of you cooking together, making some mutton. I thought it was a damn cool video, bro.
We made mutton together.
I was like, I said, that is just seamless marketing. And I'm sure it wasn't even marketing. You just decided to...
Yeah, but that's actually how he is, you know, even with the way he is with his family, his advice to me. Every Sunday we cook mutton at home. He shows me how much he can love family. He's always taught me to be really humble, down to earth, always focus on what really matters. And even if you're going to reach the sky, make your feet on the ground. That is very important.
Great. And best of luck on that mutton. Because he can cook, I don't know about you.
He can, I can't.
Rasha.
Best of luck.
So she tells me a lot about, of course, staying humble and keeping your head on your shoulders. But there's this one line that Krishnji said, which is in the Bhagavad Gita, which is trust the process and detach from what you think the result is going to be. Because I, as a person, I overthink a lot. I get nervous, I get anxious sometimes, and I overthink. And she's seen that, and she's seen me get worried about things. So she really tells me just to detach sometimes, because I am a very emotional person. I get attached to something and I will never let go. So she tells me just trust the process. Whatever happens, you have worked your hardest. So that's it. That's all that matters. And then whatever the outcome has to be.
Yeah.
Lovely. 17th January. It's in theatres. It's called Azaad. Like I said, Abhishek Kapoor and Amit Trivedi are back at the movies. And please go give these two debutants all your love. From me, Hrishi K, it's bye-bye.
94.3 Radio 1.